Hey guys, Mono here, and I think it's time to talk about what's happening to Hallelujah because we are seeing this game go through a very defining moment right now. People are not happy, and you can see that through these Steam reviews that some people are calling review bombing. That's not what review bombing is, because review bombing would just be reviewing a game negatively without having, spent enough time with it or stuff like that. However, what you see here is people with 1,000 hours in the game, 2,000 hours in the game, saying, you know what, I really enjoy this game, but it's just not the same game anymore. And the people who are recommending it have like 10 hours, 20 hours, and stuff like that. So the players that most know about this game and have enjoyed it the most are the ones who are leaving. And that is the absolute backbone of the Hallelujah community, especially on PC, because these are server owners complaining about how the game plays now, and they are definitely not happy. People want to see some changes, and maybe not the changes that Team 17 wants to give us. In my last video, I talked about the change to the running speed, which I think drastically changed the feel of the game. I'm not arguing that the previous run speed wasn't slow or was realistic or something. Yes, it was super slow. I wouldn't even call it a sprint. It was more like a jog or a slow run. But that slow running speed meant something in the context of this game. Running across a street would be absolute suicide if there's pretty much any enemy infantry looking down that street. And now, because you can just bolt across much faster than you could before, it's not the same risk. And in fact, I was playing right before making this video, and the stuff that you can get away with now is absolutely crazy. It's much easier to survive and to just move around the map and get to where you want to be. And for those that say like, oh, it's just 15%, it's not a lot, everyone's exaggerating that it's a very dramatic change. Well, people have actually measured the speed, and they found it to be 20% more than it used to be. So maybe that 15% isn't correct, and I wouldn't be surprised that it's in fact a bit more than that. But this is not just about the run speed. This is about all the updates that the new dev team have put out. The British were underwhelming because their weapons were basically broken, and they continue to be broken despite the recent patch supposedly fixing them. The LOD fixes that they've implemented have me seeing purple textures for a few seconds when I spawn. The new maps are okay, but nobody wants to play them because nobody wants to play the British, because they are by far the worst faction. And speaking of players not wanting to play the British, it seems like players don't want to play Hallelujah anymore, because since the update, the player count has fallen off a cliff. Hallelujah has been growing steadily for years with more and more players basically every month. And now we're back to early 2021, late 2020 player base numbers. And I think it's gonna drop even lower than that. So instead of bringing more players into the game, the past update has managed to reverse a trend that's been going on for 3-4 years maybe, and completely turn that around. Some people might attribute this to the release of BattleBit, but BattleBit is a very different game. The overlap between Hallelujah players and BattleBit players is maybe 5%. It's not 20%. It does not account for that drop in player count. And the negativity about the game, both here on YouTube or on Discord or Reddit or the Steam forums, is just going to continue to fester if all they plan on doing is waiting for update 15 to make some changes. Hopefully the reviews on Steam and the low player count will convince them that they actually need to change their strategy, because otherwise I just think the game is fucked, honestly. I think they need to release a patch soon, before update 15, as soon as humanly possible, and revert that speed change, maybe hold PTEs to test different values for it. Instead of 15%, maybe test 5%, see how people react to that value, or at least show some sign of actually understanding the problem, instead of saying, oh, we know that players are not very happy and the updates haven't been very good, and all of that non-specific talk that actually avoids mentioning the actual issues. I think they need to go out and say, you know what, the changes we made to the game were not well received, so we're gonna have a PTE 2 weeks from now that has the game running as it was pre-update 13 or something. I think Team 17 is running out of time. There's so many good shooters out there right now that people will leave this game and never look back. Hell Let Loose is a game that demands a lot of goodwill from its players. It's a hard game. You need to communicate, you need to be a team player. Sometimes you have to do things that you don't actually want to do or just aren't fun to do in order to win or to get into a better position for later in the match. And the rewarding parts of the game, which are the action and the shooting, that's precisely what they've made worse. There's thousands of hours of muscle memory from lots of players that were kind of lost with the speed change. A lot of people are just unhappy about it. Personally, I haven't really felt the urge to play Hell Let Loose for weeks now. I do enjoy it when I play it, but it just isn't the same as it was before. I'm noticing more and more how the playstyle has changed and how the new running speed just allows you to play the game in a way that you really couldn't before in terms of the risks and the strategies that you can employ, because right now running across an open field is not the death sentence that it used to be. And yes, it's not like they added rocket jumping or something, but you do feel that difference. So of course I'm very concerned about where this is gonna end up. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section, guys. I think that's going to be it for this video. If you enjoyed it, then please give it a like. Think about subscribing to the channel for more. And as always, thank you for watching, and I hope I will catch you in the next one.